Picture this. The year is 1858, and an enormous part of the Asian continent is under British rule. The time was known as the Era of British India, a period that left an indelible mark on the history of the subcontinent. But how did it all happen? The British East India Company, a trade organization, set foot in India in the early 17th century. Initially, their primary interest was trade, but as time wore on, they started to take control of territories, gradually morphing into a colonial power. By the mid-18th century, they had taken over significant parts of the Indian subcontinent. The year 1858 was a turning point. The British Crown took control from the company, following the Indian Rebellion of 1857, marking the beginning of the British Raj. India was no longer a business venture, it was now a part of the vast British Empire. Queen Victoria was even proclaimed the Empress of India. The British introduced several modern developments during their rule. Western education started to take root, railways were built, the telegraph was introduced, and the English language began to permeate Indian society. These changes brought about a new era of communication and mobility. Yet, the socio-political landscape was not stagnant. The Indian National Congress was formed in 1885, aiming to seek a greater voice for Indians in the governance of their own land. This was a significant step towards self-rule. However, religious tensions between Hindus and Muslims began to simmer. The Muslim League was established in 1906, seeking separate electorates for Muslims, hinting at the religious divide that was to come. The early 20th century saw a rise in nationalistic fervor, with increasing demands for independence from British rule. Yet, the path to freedom was not straightforward. The seeds of division along religious lines were sown, and the dream of a united India was starting to blur. As we journey forward, the undercurrents of division were slowly but surely starting to show their signs. The stage was set for one of the most significant events of the 20th century, the Partition of India. As the clock struck midnight on August 15, 1947, a new era dawned with the birth of two new nations. Imagine the heart-wrenching scene of a family being torn apart, forced to abandon their ancestral home. A woman, let's call her Meena, her eyes reflecting the flames that consumed her once cherished abode, clutching her two children as they embark on a journey to an unknown land. Meena was one of the millions displaced, her life uprooted overnight. Then there was Raj, a young man brimming with dreams. As the partition unfolded, his dreams were replaced with a grim reality. He watched as his best friend, who belonged to a different religion, was suddenly deemed an enemy. The harmony they once shared was replaced by a deep-seated division that tore through the very fabric of their friendship. And yet, amidst the chaos, there were glimmers of hope and resilience. Consider the story of Fatima, a young girl who, despite being separated from her family, found solace in a makeshift school in a refugee camp. The school, run by volunteers, became her sanctuary. It was there she discovered her love for poetry, using it as an escape from her harsh reality. Or take the tale of Harpreet, a Sikh man who risked his life to escort a Muslim family to safety. In a time of intense communal violence, Harpreet chose humanity over hatred, proving that compassion can triumph even in the darkest of times. These narratives are but a fraction of the countless stories etched in the hearts and minds of those who lived through the partition. They reflect the emotional turmoil, the raw human experiences, the displacement, the loss, and yet the incredible resilience. The partition was not just a political event, but a deeply personal one that affected millions. It left an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of two nations, the echoes of which can still be heard today. These stories, these moments in time, are not just historical facts, but they are a testament to the human spirit's resilience and courage. The echoes of the past continue to resound in the present, shaping the lives of millions in both India and Pakistan. In the aftermath of the partition, the two nations have walked different paths, yet they share a common historical narrative. The partition, a pivotal event in their shared history, is still felt today, shaping the socio-economic conditions, political relations, and communal harmony in both countries. The impact on socio-economic conditions has been profound. The partition led to massive population exchanges, with Hindus and Sikhs migrating to India, while Muslims moved to Pakistan. This migration resulted in significant changes in the demographic composition and economic structures of both nations. Today, both countries continue to grapple with the economic challenges and opportunities brought about by this shift. Politically, the partition has influenced the relations between the two nations. The shared history has often been a source of conflict, with territorial disputes such as that of Kashmir continuing to test the diplomatic relations between India and Pakistan. Yet, in the midst of these conflicts, there have also been moments of cooperation and mutual understanding. Culturally, the partition has left a deep imprint. Despite the political divides, a rich cultural exchange persists between the nations. The shared history, language, and traditions have continued to influence the arts, literature, and popular culture in both India and Pakistan. Music, dance, film, all bear the marks of this shared cultural heritage. Communal harmony, on the other hand, has been a challenge in the wake of the partition. The divide has often fed communal tensions, yet it has also highlighted the need for tolerance, understanding, and peaceful coexistence. Reflecting on the aftermath of the partition, we see a complex tapestry of shared history and divergent paths. The echoes of the past continue to shape the present, reminding us of the complexities of history and the enduring bonds of shared heritage. It is in understanding our past that we can truly shape our future. The Partition of India was not just an event, but a monumental shift that has shaped South Asia's destiny. This historical juncture has left an indelible imprint on the hearts and minds of millions, and its reverberations are felt even today. As we delve deeper into this chapter of history, let's take a moment to reflect. Think about the narratives you've encountered, the tales of struggle and triumph, of loss and resilience. Consider how these stories have shaped your understanding of the partition and its profound impact. Ponder upon the legacy of the partition. How has it manifested in the India and Pakistan we see today? And more importantly, how does it shape your perspective of these nations and their intertwined destinies? History is more than a chronicle of events. It's a mirror that reflects our past and guides our future. And as we reflect, we realize that the echoes of history are not merely whispers of the past, but voices that guide us towards a better tomorrow.